What's for lunch? TBBLC.
Stay in your seat.
What's for lunch today? Sausage. Brown bag, brown bag.
The Brown Bag Lunch Crew.
Anyways, my rant of the week. Let's get into these things called murder hornets I'm hearing about. We got, people saying, oh, I don't know if 2020 can get any worse. I don't know, off to such a hot start, sarcastically. And then I start hearing about these murder hornets from different people, social media, whatever it is. I don't, first off, that is the most crazy thing I've ever heard, right? So I start to scroll. I start to do my research, right? And I see a video, okay? Before I even look up where they come from, what they do, first thing I see on Twitter is a video of a murder hornet jabbing a mouse in its neck repeatedly. The mouse is on its back squirming like a little baby getting his diaper changed. And this murder hornet is just repeatedly jabbing it in the neck and killing it. And I'm like, this is like nothing I've ever seen. And I guess people in Japan are eating these things and they think they're tasty. I mean, isn't that how COVID started, with them eating these random bats? First off, I get that we want to,
I don't know if a bat is considered that. That would be an insect of the insect family. But
I don't care if it's an insect, a bird, a human. I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I think these murder hornets, I would almost label them as frauds of the week to us humans. Until they kill a person, I don't want to hear about them. I don't care about them.
Have you done your research on that to see if they have killed the person yet?
I haven't, but I'm willing to bet they have not.
Okay.
If anyone out there has seen it, let me know when this highlight comes out. I'm sure it'll be a highlight. Please let me know. But I'm willing to bet right now, it's 7:27 p.m. on the 5th of May, 2020. I'm willing to bet there's not a reported human death from an Asian murder hornet yet. And that they're basically my fraud of the week, rant of the week, hate of the week. Murder hornets, they can just go screw themselves. Until they graduate from mice and other honeybees, that's the main target for all you people who have not done your research. Until they start graduating to us big dogs, I don't want to hear about it.
I tend to think of back in the beach days, the kids who would bury the beer cans.
Oh my God! And you know what the worst part about those folks are?
That's worst people on earth type of stuff.
Those people are from Central and Western Mass, and they're wearing socks and Jordans to the beach. And they're walking with socks on the wet sand. I'm like, get out of here. You don't even, they're smoking their weed by the dunes. They're blasting their rap music. Get out of my face.
For the most
part,
pick
up your trash.
For the most part, they're out of towners. I have seen some locals do it, and it's just infuriating. Thinking, just a random kid's going to go take a digger somewhere and might get cut up by an empty Budweiser that's sitting there under the sand an inch.
Yeah,
so
it's insane. Truly.
Those people suck. And then to go into that, I thought of this on one of my car drives this week around town, and it was just the idea of trash 200 years ago. What did they do?
Yeah, did they just bury it? I knew they would throw their own fecal matter out the window, if that means anything.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Of thinking going around a town or a city back in the day.
It was probably just everywhere, probably.
Or
right?
how about the Mayflower coming over, the trash? They
oh my God! Imagine how it smelled. Imagine getting on that thing.
Oh,
Ugh.
Day 40 of crossing the Atlantic.
No
bathrooms.
Way.
Nothing.
No way. I have a McDonald's fry container in the back of my truck, and I'm like, what a mutant I am for not picking that thing up. I feel like I'm just an absolute alien, just the most disgusting thing that ever walked this earth. So to think that there was just people throwing their shit out the window, literally, and there's probably just piles of trash everywhere back in the day, just disgusting.
Yeah, and it makes you think of how good of a process we have nowadays, and it's still not even close to being a solid at all.
And that's a quick shout out to those essential workers, the people picking up our trash.
Yeah.
Shout out to those folks and everybody else putting their lives on the line.
Yeah,
because
if you saw Contagion, there's just trash littering the streets by the end. Ticks you off. And this week, I saw it on Facebook. I saw it from Drew Bledsoe, the old Pats QB, and man, did it grind my gears. I'll read you the tweet from Bledsoe. Here it is. The CDC has revised COVID-19 death count down to 37,000. Media still reporting 60,000. Please explain. He attached the CDC link. The problem there, Drew, was you didn't do your so-called research that all these people across social media say they do. I would like to see a works cited from everybody when doing it, and then actually going through the comments, because I think it's still up, and listening to the other side, because if you Google CDC like I did, because I was like, oh, that's kind of odd that it would be that low compared to what they're reporting. And guess what? Like the second link I clicked that is also CDC has just a ticker of cases and deaths. And it was like 1 point something million of cases and then 60 something thousand deaths. You go to his link, it was a death count, but it was like a couple of weeks revised. Like it's not updated to May 5th, like today.
Whatever the day was,
It's back in April, a couple weeks behind.
Yeah.
So with that, and then also the people complaining about if they're going out for a run and they don't want to wear their mask. I think El Prez did a just wonderful job on his Twitter video the other day of just exposing the people not wearing the masks. Like, if there's I think he said a 0.00 repeating 1% chance at the end, then you're going to wear a mask because it's just that little small percentage that can help everybody get back to normal.
Yeah.
And you can go about your business outside. So the people who are like, oh, I can't run with the mask on, I can't breathe, blah, blah, blah. Well, going out for a run right now is kind of a privilege. I just saw in Russia 3 doctors. This is coming from like both Fox, CNN, all the major news outlets. Doctors have been getting thrown out the window in Russia. So I don't feel so much empathy for the person who's complaining about wearing the mask outside when they're in like a just a brutal regime like that, where if you complain about anything,
boom, done.
Doctors get thrown out
the window.
Our Candlepin ones, Teddy, we want to hear, a couple of yours. Obviously, Turkey, we've heard that one before. Yeah. We know what that is, but what are some other big ball terms?
I think the most monumental one that I can recall, it was had to have been back 2008, 2009 when they really coined the term Hambone when you get 4 in a row.
Oh, okay.
And it was because so my Sundays went like you watch NFL Countdown, the Steelers were never on in Rochester, so I didn't want to watch the Bills. So 1 o'clock that was on ESPN, it would go from NFL Countdown right to bowling. And I'd always watch it. And I remember the first one, they were like, for years, it was, what do we call 4 strikes? Because everybody's like, everybody knows turkey, And then it just went 4-bagger, 5-bagger, however many you get. But then when they coined the term Hambone, I just remember, it's like watching poker. The guys just like, they see the flop and they get all excited. They just could not wait to finally coin the term and just be like, he got a Hambone. Yeah. I think it was either Wes Malott or Chris Barnes. I watched, got the first one. I was watching it. Okay. I mean, I had Norm Duke, Weber, those kind of guys that I grew up watching. And they're just going out there. They don't have all this, the tape, I call it cramp tape, but the muscle tape.
Yep.
And all that. These guys are out there. They look like they're about to go for a triathlon. They're all taped up. They got the freaking quarter sleeves on like an NBA shooter,
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, it was pretty crazy. But now the two-handing thing is catching on.
Coming off of Twitter all week has been Ozarks is kind of the new Breaking Bad. It could be better than Breaking Bad. I haven't watched Breaking Bad. I think you have.
Oh, yeah.
How does it compare, would you say?
I think directionally they're very similar in terms of the plot and the way that they are filmed. Breaking Bad is one of those things that it was sort of the first of its kind, and I think a lot of people just latched onto it because they hadn't seen anything like it. Personally, I absolutely love the characters in Ozark. Every episode just pulls me in. I would put it right up there with Breaking Bad. I'm not going to say it's better or worse, but I think it absolutely should be in the same category as Breaking Bad in terms of really everything that goes with it. And I know I've seen a bunch of people say, oh, like, who are you going to take, Walt and Jesse, or, Marty and Ruth? And I mean, to be honest with you, like, if we're talking that route, Ruth is an absolute savage, and I am absolutely in love with her character. She says
She's your
whatever
favorite
she
character?
wants. I think without a doubt, yeah, either her or Jonah the Sav. Jonah is
That's mine. Jonah is mine. He is just unfazed by everything.
Everything, and he just pops up every once in a while and has one of those just random, 5-minute clips of brilliance and greatness where they're like, yes, go Jonah. But I think Ruth is without a doubt my favorite character. Constantly find myself rooting for her regardless. And yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would put it right up there with Breaking Bad. It's an incredible show.
Gotcha. And then some other top trending ones. You haven't dabbled in them yet, but I'm sure you and Leah will get to them. All American I just wrapped up, as well as Outer Banks. I'd give All American a solid 6.8. It's just something you don't have to really pay all that much attention to.
Yeah.
It's predictable, but it gets the job done. Outer
100%.
Banks, I thought, was better. It was much better, written plot, not as predictable.
Yeah.
But the last 20 minutes, I would say, no spoilers here, but it was the freaking worst, ending to a season I've ever seen. They're coming out with a season 2, so it's not over, but I was just beyond frustrated. Drew's girlfriend, Leah Thompson, she's going to give us her Boy of the Week. I'm very interested to see if she's going to, bail out and call Drew the Boy of the Week. I really hope not. We'll see.
Well, that's my gut reaction, but I feel like that's kind of like a cop-out.
It's a fraudulent move.
But, if you had asked me a week ago who my Boy of the Week was, I would have no idea. But there's breaking pop culture news this week. Every millennial female, hold on to your bootstraps, because my Boy of the Week is the one and only Edward Cullen.
Oh my God.
So I didn't know this, but that's the Robert Pattinson gonna be Batman in the new films, Twilight, the Twilight guy.
Yes, it's not a show. It is a saga of fine literature
God.
and box office record-setting movies.
What's for lunch? TBBLC.
Stay in your seat.
What's for lunch today? Sausage. Brown bag.
The Brown Bag Lunch Crew.